A little bit of business first. October is right around the corner, and you know what that means. All the horror. That's right. It's that month when we do special horror-themed content with other podcasters. This year, we're hosting a special live stream event on October 16th. So be sure to keep an eye on our social media for more information. Or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel and smash that notification bell, as the kids say. And we'll also be making a special appearance on Fellowship of the Geeks, talking about two delightfully cheesy Halloween specials of yore, The Halloween That Almost Wasn't, and Mad Monster Party. Okay, now that we've got that out of the way, let's get on with this week's episode. What would have been our Texas Frightmare Weekend special turned into something pretty amazing, if we do say so ourselves. Welcome to Pitney and Amelia's Bitchin' Boutique!
We may be awful, but
we're right! I'm actually kind of drunk. I mean, I'm not drunk. I don't get drunk anymore. I'm tipsy.
Well, it is Frightmare Weekend, and we traditionally spend that entire weekend tipsy, so, you know.
Exactly why I went and drank 2 pints of a very hoppy IPA tonight.
So, yay, I'm jealous.
And ate a burger. I know, but we should probably explain to the people. So, this weekend, not when you're listening, but when we're recording. So, this weekend is the thrice postponed Texas Frightmare Weekend. This is what would have been May 2020, but is now September 2021. They're actually doing it. It has officially begun as of today.
Oh yeah, it's going on right now. Yeah,
it's going on right now. It is now Friday night as we talk. So the dance, the Overlook Hotel themed party will be starting in about 45 minutes. You know, it's exciting, but we are not there because we are not quite mentally and psychologically prepared to be in a crowd of 1,000 people or so or more.
No, and I mean, like, we were gonna go.
Yeah, and then all set.
And then we were gonna meet because we decided we didn't want to go to the con before COVID. Yeah. Or because of COVID. And then we were going to meet at another hotel in Dallas just to fuck around and have fun.
Right.
But then I decided that I didn't want to go because I was freaked out about COVID on a plane because my mom was freaked out about COVID on a plane because one of her friends had just gotten sick, who's in the hospital again as of yesterday, by the way.
Oh, God.
But anyway,
it just turned out that, I mean, and we had already made that decision before, and like literally a couple of days ago, a friend of mine died. A fully vaccinated friend of mine died in 9 days. Totally healthy, fully vaccinated, only took her 9 days to die. So, you know, we're not fucking around right now.
Oh, yeah, and I'm not going to get on a plane and go to fucking Dallas, Texas, the land of COVID, you know.
and we, now granted, they are taking every precaution. Lloyd and co, they are doing everything they can to be as safe as possible. And one thing that I really kind of love is that they are absolutely requiring masks 100%. everywhere.
Good.
And part of it is that the hotel is requiring it, but it is like, no, if you are in a common area at all, if you are anywhere but your room, you have a mask on.
Good.
And there's a lot of people like online who are being like, well, then I'm not going. It's like, well, no one's going to fucking miss you then. Whoever the fuck you are, no one cares that you're not coming.
Stay the fuck home.
Stay the fuck home. Exactly. You're exactly the person that we don't want to be there anyway. And that basically means that the only people who are going to be there are people who really should be there.
Yeah.
And they have continued to add guests. It is going to be a great thing. And every time they add a new guest that I'm excited about, I will post to that person, I hope you have a great time and you come back next year because we'll be there next year.
Yeah,
God damn it.
Yeah.
You know, assuming the world doesn't end before then.
You know, and it's just kind of weird. Like, it wouldn't even be fun for me, though, to go with all the masking and everything. Because if I'm there, I want to drink and smoke all day. And you can't do that wearing a goddamn mask. Unless we're in our room by ourselves.
Yeah, it would really be the whole, like, being in the bar. I mean, we spend most of the con sitting in the bar, the lobby bar.
Yeah.
Drinking beer and hanging out and talking to people. And I don't know how that would work. I really don't know how that would work. I know,
it's just weird. And because of the social political atmosphere in Texas right now surrounding all the masking stuff, I wouldn't feel comfortable there.
I think because so many of the people are coming from outside, and I think everyone who is going is very, very understanding that I don't think the people who are actually going are being assholes. I think it's the people who aren't going who are posturing. I think it's probably people who weren't going to go anyway.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, fuck you, shut up. But meanwhile, we're not there, and we ended up doing something kind of awesome anyway.
Yeah, because we are both on separate vacations.
Yes.
But kind of together.
Yes. And part of this was my husband's idea. I was originally thinking, well, I'm going to have a vacation anyway. I'm going to drive up to Dallas. And then my husband was like, you don't like to drive to Dallas. Like, driving to Dallas just to sit in a hotel by yourself is stupid when you could sit in a hotel by yourself here and not have to drive back and forth to Dallas. So as soon as he said that, I immediately, because I had thought I could do that, you could stay in a hotel there. Mm-hmm. And then I immediately thought, when he said stay in a hotel locally, all of a sudden it was, I know where I want to go.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to the haunted hotel in the middle of downtown Austin.
Yeah.
From the 1800s.
Hello.
That's where I'm going to go. Like, there was never a question. There was never a fucking question that I was going to do anything else. And as soon as I decided to do that, you started looking around for places that you could go.
Yeah.
And you found a cool place.
Well, I went through all because I went through all these, because we talked about when we were going to get together in Dallas, that we were going to go to that old, was it the Marriott?
No, the Sheraton.
Oh, the Sheraton. Because
the Sheraton was where Frightmare used to be before it moved to the Hyatt Regency.
Yeah, so we were going to go there for a nostalgia trip, and I thought that was fun. So my initial thought when we decided that, I wasn't going to fly out there, that I was going to stay at a con hotel in San Jose.
That's right near your house.
Yeah.
Where all the cons always were. Yeah.
But it was expensive.
Yeah.
It wasn't terribly exciting, and then I realized I wanted to bring the dog.
Right.
So I ended up, because I wanted to go to the beach, to go to the dog beach, and I wanted to go to the Redwoods and bring the dog to the Redwoods.
Right. You wanted to make a little bit of a trip out of it.
Yeah. And so I ended up booking a room at the Brookdale Lodge in Felton, which is right outside Harry Cowell State Redwood Park.
Which I'd never even heard of, but I'm
Yeah.
so fascinated now.
And like Felton is just this little town in the middle of the Redwoods between Los Gatos and Santa Cruz.
Right. Like, I'm sure
There's
I
three little
passed it
hippie
on the
towns.
highway.
Yeah.
Right. You pass it on the highway when you're going to Santa Cruz. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you pass the road to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it ended up being a very appropriate Frightmare place, in addition to being dog friendly and 10 minutes from the Redwood Park and 20 minutes from the beach. So, hello.
And apparently it does have a bit of, well, because I haven't said what's, well, I did say that the Driskill is known for being haunted.
Mm-hmm.
This place in Felton also has a bit of a reputation.
Yes, and I didn't know that until I told the fabulous Steve that that's where I was staying.
Yes!
And he was like, "Oh, I know that place. Me and my ex Donnie used to stay there all the time on vacation in the 80s." And I was like, "Wow." And he was like, "Oh, yeah, it's real famous, and there's all these ghost stories about it too." And I was like, "No way,
Like,
really?"
you totally picked the haunted place.
I honestly didn't know. I just
It's so
thought
awesome.
it was old and kind of cheesy, and that's why I wanted to stay.
Well, it almost makes it automatic.
Although it's all redone now,
Right.
because apparently, oh gosh, in 91 or 92 or something, it burned down in a wildfire.
Oh, well, I guess, yeah, that part,
And
of,
it
the, that part of the
totally,
state.
a
Yeah.
lot of it had to be rebuilt, and some of it is original, but all the room areas are all new because it just burned down.
Like, the main lodge is still there, but the guest rooms are,
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's too bad.
And the cool thing about it, it's closed because of COVID, but they have a restaurant that it's a building, but the actual creek actually runs through the building.
Oh my God, I love when places do that.
But because of COVID, it's closed right now, and that's a real bummer.
Oh, can you look? Can you, like, look in there?
Yeah, but you can't really tell what's going on.
I mean, it'd be nice to at least see it. Oh, well. Anyway.
Yeah, but the cool thing here too is they have an outdoor beer garden.
Ooh.
And it is the place to go for the nightlife in Felton and Ben Lomond.
Oh my God.
And apparently they've had live bluegrass there several nights a week since, I don't know, the 60s, the 70s.
Oh my God, that's
and it's
so cool.
still going on, so it's like the place to go on weekend nights.
That's so
when
fabulous.
You're living in these weird little hippie towns in the Santa Cruz Mountains.
That's so awesome. Oh my God. But oh my God, this place, man. This place is so crazy. And I am a little disappointed that I have not personally witnessed any ghostly activity. Although part of that could be because I am in when I say I'm in the newer part, I'm in the tower, but which is the addition. But even the newer part was built in like the 1920s. So it's 100 years old. This part of the build, this is 100 years old too.
It's still, okay.
It's nothing in here is new.
And it's weird because I've seen that hotel a million times in person. I used to drive by it and walk by it all the time. But for the life of me, I can't picture it. I have no memory of what it looks like.
It's in the Romanesque style.
Okay.
It is most tranquil with its columns and its corbels. It's fabulous. It's this cattleman built it in the 1800s, and he only owned it for a few years until he lost it in like a poker game. Well, or he may have just lost it period, but legend has that he lost it in a poker game because he was an idiot. But he is one of the people. There's a big he apparently died before it became a really successful hotel, but there's a big painting of him at the top of the grand stairway in the lobby, and he's one of the ghosts allegedly that roams, and he just appears in the form of, out of nowhere you just smell cigar smoke. And
see, that's kind of exciting.
See, and that's what I was kind of hoping, because apparently he's kind of a perv. And that's what I was kind of hoping for. I was kind of hoping for Colonel Driskill, because he mostly appears, quote, via "you smell his stinky cigar," in women's hotel rooms. Like, it'll just be a woman in her hotel room, and then all of a sudden she'll smell a cigar.
Well, maybe you need to, like, be in front of the mirror with some olive oil, massaging your boobs and being like, ooh.
Clearly
to, like, entice him to come.
I planned, I have my glamorous loungewear. I'm wearing a negligee and peignoir because I am lounging in my glamorous hotel room, which I should say, this is not a cheap hotel, but I did not get the cheapest room in the hotel. I might have the second cheapest room in the hotel, but I will say that there are suites in this hotel that go for like $3,600 a night.
Oh, fuck that. I mean, I would love to stay there,
like,
but I would never, even if I could afford it, I wouldn't do it.
They're like 1,200 square feet, though. I mean, one of them is the presidential suite, which is decorated for the Johnson family. It's like different rooms in the suite are done for LBJ and for Lady Bird. And then there's the Cattleman suite, which has, among other things, a dining room that seats 16. I mean, it's the size of a decent size apartment.
I guess you rent it for parties, right? I would guess.
Or you're just fucking rich. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean,
you're rich and you can fuck on the dining room table while you say, I paid $3,600 a night for this room. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what other people, I don't know how people live. I don't know how people who have a lot of money live.
Me neither.
I mean, I know that I was like, fuck it, I'm doing this. So I didn't want to get the cheapest room in the hotel.
Yeah, yeah.
Because fuck it. But I also didn't want to spend so much money that I made sure I was in the oldest part of the hotel. That's why I'm in the tower. But I also,
yeah.
It's a nice room.
Yes, it is. I can tell. Yeah.
It's a very nice room. It's very nice. It is very comfy. But I will say that there's a surprising number of ghosts here. And one of my favorite things, and this is a weird thing to be a favorite thing, but there's a lot of women, there are a lot of brides who have committed suicide here. And yet, there's so many people want to get married here, and brides who see the ghost of like a bride ghost, they consider that to be good luck. Like, if you see a ghost in bridal regalia walking down a hall, that's considered good luck. Like, like, people who come here to get married are really, really hoping that they see the ghost of the woman who hung herself in the bathroom. They really, and my favorite was a woman who, in like the 80s, she was engaged to some asshole in Houston who broke off the engagement, who told her he didn't love her anymore, but apparently didn't take his credit card back from her first. She got in his car with his credit card, drove to Austin, bought like $10,000 worth of shit, at the mall.
Mm-hmm.
Like, spent so much of his money, checked into a really expensive room here.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it was room 141. I looked it up. If you look on YouTube on the Driscolls, the Driscoll actually has a YouTube channel that only has like 4 videos on it, but one of them has a guy giving a tour, and he tells this story. I believe it was room 141.
The haunted. Okay.
She went shopping, went into the, checked into this room, went into the bathroom. One of the things she bought when she was shopping was a gun. Got into the bathtub.
Mm-hmm.
And shot herself in the stomach. And just slowly died there.
And just bled out in the bathtub.
Just bled out in the bathtub. And it took 3 days for anyone to find her. And no one heard the gunshot, because this is such a luxury hotel that these walls are like 18 inches thick or something.
Wow.
So nobody heard a goddamn thing. And the story goes, she's a ghost here because when renovations were being done on that part of the hotel, a bunch of women were just walking down a hall, going to the part of the hotel where their room was, walking through a section that they knew wasn't their room. Mm-hmm. They saw a woman carrying a bunch of shopping bags, and they said something about they said something to her, and she said something back, and they thought it was weird. They thought she seemed really sad. Mm-hmm. And they mentioned it to someone else, and they were like, no one's staying in that room. Because they were like, I thought that was the part of the hotel that was doing the renovation. And they didn't know the story, but that was the ghost of the woman, because that was that room.
Wow.
And it was like, years later.
Did you walk by it?
No, I that's one of the things I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm going to do a lot more wandering tomorrow. Because today my wandering was to go to the Museum of the Weird, which is down the street. Tomorrow I'm going to do more wandering around the hotel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to try and scope out. It's like, I don't want to be super obvious, but I can't be the only person who comes here and nonchalantly walks down certain hallways.
Oh no, I think you should totally
room
take
525.
Selfies.
Room 525, room 141. I there's certain rooms that
I think you should take selfies next to the rooms where you can see the room number. Because why not?
I know, right? I might have to. It's kind of...
And then just knock on the door and ask the people if you can come in.
Oh my god. And there's another one that's really that's so cute that I love the idea of this one. There's this lady that used to work at the front desk, in the very, very early days, back when the front desk was in the middle of where the lobby is now. Mm-hmm. And she apparently loved working here so much that even now that she's dead, she still comes to work. Oh. And she just walks around in the lobby, apparently. And part of me just wants to kind of go down in the middle of the night and just hang out in the lobby, just in case.
Yeah, because that'd be really interesting.
I want to see a goddamn ghost. I've never seen one.
I felt them, and I think I've seen one once. I mean, we talked about this on the show a couple times. But
on our shows and on other people's shows, we've talked about ghosts. Yeah, but it's I'm very jealous, and I like the fact that all the ghosts that are here are all, they're not malevolent. They're just here.
Yeah, they're not gonna fuck with you.
Yeah. And I love if I smelled cigar smoke, I would be just like, all right, Colonel Driskill, all right, you want a show?
Also, yeah, you should totally do a little striptease. I would find it
so fucking hilarious if I smelled cigar smoke. I would just find that so fucking funny. I'd be like, all right, you old perv.
Oh, I would love that.
I would love that. I would love it so much. But like, what, do you know anything about the hauntedness?
No, I did not know that this hotel was allegedly haunted until Steve told me.
Right.
Like I said, I'd never even heard of it before, so he didn't know any of the stories specifically, but so I looked him up online, and I mean, you can find them online, you know, Brookdale Lodge in Felton.
Right.
But apparently, it was like a real big hoity-toity place where Marilyn Monroe, Frank Sinatra,
Wow.
prominent gangsters all stayed there back in the day. It was like a destination spot, which I had no idea.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I don't know, but being that they have live music all the time, my fantasy would be in the 60s, maybe Wayne Newton sang there, but who knows? You know.
Oh, yes.
You know.
Yes.
But I didn't know that. But anyway, apparently the main ghost is the ghost of this little girl who died of consumption or something when she was 10.
Puppy.
Honey, no. This is not the place. No.
I guess he just heard someone walking down the hall.
There was people walking down the hall and talking, and they like opened the door or something across the hall. And
it's exciting. It's exciting for a puppy.
So anyway, so what was I saying about this Sarah, the ghost of Sarah, the little girl?
The girl who died of consumption. Just say
apparently, so she died of consumption, and I don't know if she was the daughter or the niece or something of the owner, but she was like close to him and a prominent figure and somebody that spent a lot of time at the hotel, and allegedly she's still there, and you can see her from time to time, and you can see her hanging out at the restaurant and the bar, apparently.
Oh yeah, there's a ghost of a little girl here too. A little girl who died falling down the grand staircase in the lobby. She was bouncing her ball down the hall, and chasing after her ball, she fell down the stairs. And supposedly you can hear the ball bouncing down the hall all the time.
Oh. See, that would scare the fuck out of me, because what is that movie, that ghost movie with George C. Scott in it? It's a real classic from the 70s.
Was that The Changeling?
The Changeling.
Yes.
That scene where that fucking ball bounces down the goddamn stairs.
Yes.
That scared the fuck out of me.
Because it's so normal. It's so fucking normal. Yes. Oh my God.
God damn it, it's scary. But anyway, but the other thing about this hotel, there's supposedly other ghosts in this hotel, but I don't know what the stories are.
Right.
But allegedly there was a maid who allegedly suffered an assault.
Ooh.
From you know where my mind is going. I'm sorry.
I know. The listeners are like, that's not funny. It's like, it's only funny because it reminds us of someone. It's not funny at all.
Suffered an assault from this ghost that supposedly broke her nose.
The ghost did?
And she was slapped so hard across the back she had a handprint.
From a ghost.
I don't know how much of that I believe. I can believe, like, maybe you can see the image of a girl or something, but I don't know how much that, but who knows? I've never had that experience, so who the hell's to say that it's not true? But supposedly in this hotel, this kind of shit is going on. And I'm actually looking on right now, and there's rooms, let's see, 2209, 1209, and room 5.
And none of those are, well, like you said, all the rooms were rebuilt anyway.
Yeah.
So you could be on the site of those rooms, but without knowing it.
That are really scary, and apparently room 5 the mattresses would get flipped over, the sheets would get pulled off the beds
Oh my
with guests
God.
in them. The TV would go on all the time and there'd be the static like in Poltergeist.
Ah!
So again, I don't know, but apparently that happens in room 5 here. So yeah.
And you know what's so weird? Like my initial thought is, oh, it's not possible for a ghost to slap you. But if it's possible for a ghost to like move an object, then why wouldn't it be possible for a ghost to slap you? That's physically
Yeah,
affecting
and
something. So that should be the same thing.
yeah, and I've never ever
Your
seen
puppy
anything like
experiencing.
that. And I've never experienced anything like that, but I sure would be fascinated to.
Oh my God.
And I know several people that have claimed to have witnessed stuff like that, but I think they're all loonies.
Yeah.
The Bitchin' Boutique.
Yes.
I think we need to give them a thing, Spike. We can give them a drop that they can plan out their
Yes,
show.
I think we've got to find some time and get
I
time
think we
to
should
do
it
that.
right now. I think we should do it right now. Look, I'll show you how easy it is, Spike. Watch this. I'm just going to do it live.
Okay, do it live.
Like that bloke screams. I'm just going to do it live. Watch this. Hi, this is Dr. Dan from the Two Skeptical... I can't do it now. Look, I can't speak. Too much pressure. I'll try again. Take 52. Hi, this is Dr. Dan from the Two Skeptical Chaps podcast, and you are listening to the most bitchin' boutique. See? That was easy, wasn't it?
Okay.
They could send us one, we could play it as. There you go.
Yeah.
Right, you do it.
Yeah.
Right, off
What do you
go.
want me to say?
Whatever comes to mind.
Hi, this is Spike from the Two Skeptical Chaps podcast, who ain't no bitch, but you're listening to the Bitchin' Boutique.
Oh, that was good. I hope they use that. Let's see if they cut it and put it in their next show.
Diplomatic community.
Oh my God, so like today my big thing was I ran down the street because one of the things I'm doing is even though I'm downtown in the city basically where I've lived for 30 plus years, I haven't really been downtown apart from like coming down here to go to a bar or something or go to the theater.
Yeah.
Like I don't really explore the city. Like I live here, but I don't go here, So I'm treating Austin as though I don't live here. And so, I literally was dropped off in front of the hotel. I don't have a car. I'm walking everywhere. It's
That's
fantastic.
exciting though.
It's very cool. So, what I did today was I walked down 6th Street, which, this hotel is right on 6th and Brazos. And I headed down 6th Street, past all these, all these bars that I used to go to.
Oh yeah.
Back in the day. But of course, everything's different in the day, and everything's different because, hardly anything is the same as it was when I used to come down here. But I went to a museum that has been here for a long time, and I've been wanting to come down. It was 1,000 times better than I could have ever imagined, and that is Austin's Museum of the Weird. And when I say, if you come to Austin, everyone, this is an absolute must see. You've never seen anything like this. You could go to your little Ripley's Believe It or Not nonsense. That is like ridiculous commercial bullshit.
Yeah.
This is, and you and I, Pitney and I have done the roadside museum thing, like the thing outside of Tucson.
Oh, yes, we have. Yes, we have.
Oddities. We love, go pay a quarter and go look at the weird thing behind the wall. We love that shit. This thing, I really did not know what I was going to see. It's way more. It is, they have a complete like wax museum dedicated to like Lon Chaney and Boris Karloff and Bela Lugosi, and like there's like a big King Kong head and hands. There's like huge, just like amazing wax museum of all like classic movie monsters. There's a whole sideshow section that's all some of it is some actual relics from sideshows. Some of it is reproductions of posters from sideshows. Some of it is just educational stuff about sideshows. But the first section, you know, it starts off kind of simple, you know, like, okay, here's a jackalope, here's a Fiji mermaid, here's, you know, silly little things. Oh, here's a fish with fur on it. Here, you know, just silly things. But then you get into like a section where it actually has a sign up that's saying, okay, so like from this point forward, there's going to be like actual human remains. So you need to like, just like reminding people that they need to be respectful. And there's mummies in there. And you know how I love mummies. There's actually a mummy. There's actually one of the Guanajuato mummies in there. There's a mummy from Egypt in there that is on loan from a professor who obtained it, who they are back in the day when people would just find a burial in Egypt and just take whatever was in there and just walk off with it. Without any
and they just sell it on the black market.
And it's like they don't know who they're, and so this professor is like, he obtained this body and he's working on trying to figure out where it came from and who it is, because he wants to return it. And in the meantime, it's going to stay right there. And it's there for educational purposes about the fact that this happens. And it's going to be on display here until it can go home.
And I do remember going there to that Museum of the Weird one time.
Really?
With my friend Dick.
Okay.
And
yeah.
But it was so long ago, I don't remember really that much about it. But I do remember it was a lot more extensive than what I thought.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking it was cool.
And they had like shrunken heads, like real shrunken heads. I'd never seen real shrunken heads before. All kinds of just amazing things. But the thing that blew my mind. Have you ever heard of, and I'm just going to guess you probably haven't. Have you ever heard of the Cottingley fairies? Or or something called Francis and the Fairy Ring?
I don't think so.
Okay. Back in like the early 1900s, some girls playing with a camera took a photograph of like, a girl took a photograph of like her cousin with like fairies dancing around in front of her. And it was like this sort of like this infamous photo that, you know, I mean, it's over 100 years old. It's for decades, people were like studying this photo and arguing over whether or not it proved the existence of fairies. And when I was a kid, and like I'm sure I've talked on the show before about how when you're a military kid and you move a lot, it's very common that when you move, the kids' stuff, if you have too much shit, the kids' stuff is what gets tossed. Yeah. And so it was very common for like stuff that belonged to me to not make it to the next house. So there were books that I have all these great memories of cool books as a kid that I lost, that I don't remember what they were called, that I will never find again. And one of the most memorable things from one of those books was the story of that picture. And that image in my head of that photo. And I hadn't thought of it in forever.
Yeah, because why would you? Yeah.
Yeah. But it was always something that was very, very cool to me. And, and I hadn't, like I said, no, and even if I did think of it, no one I'm ever talking to would ever know what I was talking about.
Know what the fuck, yeah, I know, yeah.
At some point last year, the owner of the Museum of the Weird bought at an auction the only existing contact print from the long destroyed negative of that photograph.
See, and you got to see it.
I got to see the photograph.
That's awesome.
I almost shit myself. I'm like, I
was going to ask you, did you cry?
I got kind of emotional. There was no one around. That was another thing. People are coming in behind me in the museum. Everyone's just like passing me. I was like my grandmother at the Alamo. I'm reading every fucking plaque.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's me too. Everywhere I go, yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm coming in here because I want to see every single thing that's in here. Because I'm interested in it. Like, why are people paying the money to come back here to just quickly walk through it and not actually look at anything? I don't
people
understand.
Are stupid. Because young people probably don't even know how to fucking read nowadays.
Oh my god! But they literally had it in like this dark.
Oh wait, something's wrong.
Cubby hole.
Hold on.
Okay, I'm talking.
Okay, something's wrong, and I can hear you through the speaker of the computer now, but not through this anymore.
Okay. I can tell your mic. Yeah, it's not coming through your mic at all. So is your mic plugged in through the USB?
Yeah. It literally oh shit.
So the way it was displayed was like it was in like a cubby, like a dark box, and then it had like a plaque outside of it that explained the whole thing, and then there was like a button. And to make sure that you read the whole thing, and then it explained to you if you wanted to see it. It had the picture, like an image of the picture below it, but it said if you want to view the actual picture to press the button, but that the picture needs to remain in darkness because it's so fragile. But you can press and hold the button so that you can look at it. And I was almost too scared to do it because I was like, oh my God, it's actually in there. Like I was peering in there without doing the light because I could see that it was in there. And I pushed that button and I just gasped. I was like, oh my God, it's so old. Because you can tell it's so fucking old. And when I got to the gift shop, I bought a postcard of that picture so I would have it.
Oh, good.
And it's like, oh... And it's just, oh my God, it made my whole fucking day. Like, I don't, maybe I won't see a ghost the whole time I'm here this weekend, but I got to see the Cottingley Fairies picture, and that is so fucking cool.
That's awesome.
Oh my God. I just hope everyone has something in their life that they could get that excited about. Oh my God. And I felt bad. I talked to every employee in there. I had so much fun there, and everyone who worked there was so nice and so cool. And then when I left, I realized I didn't tell them I had a podcast, because I totally intended to talk about it on the podcast.
Oh my God, and those people would love us.
Oh my God, I totally would have. I didn't even think about it. I mean, like, I knew I was going to talk about it on the show, but I didn't talk to them about it. I didn't leave anybody a card. And it wasn't until I was walking back to the hotel that I realized, God, I'm stupid, but I'm totally going to tag them. They have social media. I'm totally tagging them. Their social media person will be like, what the hell? But yeah, so, so they'll, maybe it's like, hi, I'm the weirdo that was really excited about the fairies.
Oh, yeah, no, they'll think you're fabulous. Yes, absolutely.
I'm the weirdo with the blue hair who was excited about the fairies.
Yeah, so let's check in tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we will swap if there's any ghost stories about our hotels.
Yes! If we both have new exciting information.
And we will discuss the horror movie that we just watched together last night via Skype.
Yes.
So
yes, because that was very exciting, because that's another thing we would have done if we'd been at Frightmare. We would have watched horror movies together. So we Skyped a movie last night together. We watched it together, and we're going to talk about that when we come back.
Yep.
Yay! Because we're having technical difficulties, so we'll be back in a minute.
The year of self-care.
So, this week we're talking about spooky stuff and scary movies, and I thought it would be a good time to talk about being brave, but like the hardest thing to be courageous about for most of us. Me, definitely. Y'all know me. I'm not afraid to cry in front of you. I'm not afraid to tell you real stuff. I may not tell you my real name, but, reasons. But the scariest thing, the thing that's probably hardest for me to do? Asking for help. Now, I love to help people. When someone needs something, anything, I'm there. It's totally my thing. But needing help myself? That's a level of vulnerability that I'm not exactly wired to handle very well. Realizing that I need help, admitting that to myself, confessing it to someone else, actually asking for help? Yikes. That's really hard to do, isn't it? But imagine being able to just do that. How much easier everything would be if you didn't suffer in silence and agonize for hours, days, weeks, because you needed even just a little help. Or, God, what if all you needed was a break? A moment to breathe, to regroup, to fill your tank and start again. What could you accomplish if you would allow yourself to be less than perfect for just a minute, to let your guard down and ask for some help? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to get in the habit of saying what we're afraid of and why it's getting in the way of what we need. Something like this. I'm afraid that you'll think I'm not competent if I admit I don't remember how to access that application. I feel embarrassed to have to ask you this. Or maybe, I know there's a deadline coming up, but I'm afraid if I don't take a step back for a little bit this week, I'll burn out and I won't get my work done on time. And we're going to find a way to treat ourselves like we treat our cars, assuming you all keep an eye on the fuel gauge and don't let it get down to fumes every time before putting gas in the tank. That's adding stress to your life. You don't need living like that. So figure out where your fuel gauge is and how you know when you're at, say, a quarter tank. Let's start refueling before we're desperate. Let's not wait until we're losing our minds with stress before we do something about it. That's kind of what self-care is about. Regular maintenance, as opposed to crisis management. And one last thing. Remember how you love to help people? Well, other people love that too. They're waiting for the chance to jump in and help you out with that thing, to offer their services so you can take that much-needed break. Let's make other people happy by letting them help us for a change. We can do anything, but we can't do everything. We can definitely do this.
So here we are, we're back. We are back from our little break. For the listeners, it's been a moment. But for us, it's been a whole day.
Yes, it's been a whole 24 hours.
Because we had technical difficulties.
And just so if this part sounds different, I am using a different microphone right now.
Yeah.
Than what I'm used to using.
Yeah.
But it'll be back to normal by the next one.
It sounds fairly normal to me through the Skype call, but that is never a good indicator, as we've learned. That's never a good indicator of what the actual recording is going to sound like. Oh my god. But yeah, so it's like a day later because we had technical difficulties last night because your cable broke. Because your USB cable decided to just fucking break, even though you weren't even touching it. It decided to just stop working.
Oh, the whole tip broke off.
Yeah.
The whole tip ended up breaking off, yeah.
Which is fucking insane. Which may or may not be the result of the ghost of a little girl that we were talking about.
I would like to think it is, but
I'm just saying. And we were about, last night, to go into talking about the fact that we had the previous night Skyped about a movie. But since an entire day has gone by, we will get to that in a moment.
Yes.
Because in the day since that last segment, it's so weird. It's like time travel here. Also, last night I was drunk. I'm drunk again. I think I should just go ahead and mention that. Because it's my last night in the hotel, and I went ahead and had dinner in the hotel bar. And instead of having like a bourbon, or maybe 2 bourbons, I had 3 bourbons.
Yes.
And that is not normal for me.
Oh, no, it's not.
They were delicious, and I was just enjoying sitting there in the bar, and I chose a table that, was in a good spot, and I have all sorts of stories about my moments in the bar, but I'll get to those.
Yeah, and I am drinking Lagunitas Stereohopic IPA.
That's so exciting.
Because I, too, am on vacation, so...
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, I was drinking basically the same bourbon that I would be drinking if I was at home, but I was drinking it in a hotel, so I was paying top dollar for it, and it had a gigantic ice cube in it, and it was in a really pretty glass, and I was drinking
Ooh, was it $45 a drink?
No, it was like $14 for a single. But remember years ago when I ordered a double bourbon and it was $18?
Oh, I sure did.
And that stranger at Frightmare was like, "Oh my god, you're paying $18 for a drink." And I'm like, "How many beers have you had? And how much did you pay for them?"
Right, yeah.
It's like, please, I'm having, because that night I was having one and it was a double. Now these were single bourbons and I had 3 of them. Now they were not double bourbons, they were singles. So really, it was only 1.5 what I would normally have. So it's really not, I'm making a lot of excuses right now.
I know, but you are not used to that sort of
No, I am not. And
you
really,
totally not.
I didn't want to leave the bar in part, and I realized that I have other stories, but I didn't want to leave the bar in part because near me, there was a very large group of very, very unfuckable men that I think I'm only guessing they might have been like the groomsmen for like a bridal party, like a wedding party, maybe. I'm only guessing. I don't know, but there was like 15 of them, and they were kind of obnoxiously dudeish, and they really felt like they all went to the same frat.
And none of them were hot.
If they had been individually present at the bar, there were a couple of them that might have been kind of doable. That might have been kind of cute. Like, I might have hit some of those back in the day.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, but like as a group, they drained each other of their attractiveness as a group.
Oh, God.
And they were so unfuckable that because I had brought a stack of Driskill notepaper as I'm holding up to, because we're on a Skype call right now, I'm holding up to the camera. Yeah. I brought a stack of Driskill notepaper to the bar in case I felt compelled to write anything. And I didn't think I was going to write a poem, but I wrote a poem because I was so inspired.
Well, okay.
By the utter unfuckability of these men. Shockingly unfuckable. That whole group. Individually, some are okay, but together they merge into an unfuckable mass. Just vile and bland and dickless and boring. And I shall read this on my show because their bland dicklessness must be preserved for all time. Beware, ladies, one of you is marrying the one in the blue shirt.
See, that's fabulous.
As I got about halfway down the page, I realized I wasn't even remembering writing it. That's how drunk I am.
But it's so fabulous because I can just picture it. You know, it's just like stupid,
khaki pants, generic men,
generic white fucking straight guys.
Yes,
like, who the fuck cares about them?
Oh, they're so utterly unattractive, and so bland and white and heterosexual.
Yeah,
and it's just like, guys, do better. You know, some of you might have something more interesting in you, and you really need to do more to show that. Because you really shouldn't need to be so Chad-like, you know. Anyway. But other than that, I mean, I had kind of, because we were talking yesterday about, you know, the hauntedness of our hotels. I didn't tell you this until we started recording because I wanted to save it. But I did make a point of doing a slow stroll through this hotel today.
Oh.
First I strolled the mezzanine level, which is where all the ballrooms are, and the famed what's the guy's name? Shit. God damn it.
I don't know.
Oh! His name is engraved above the door. There's like the Jim Hogg room. It starts with an M, I think. Oh, fuck. I feel terrible. I'm drunk.
Yeah, I don't know.
Have you noticed I'm drunk? It's people can Google it. God damn it!
You can fill it in an obvious edit later, and it'll be funny.
Oh, that would be good. I could totally just add it in later. That's a good idea. Yeah. So in the blank, the guy Maximilian. I knew it started with an M. The Maximilian room, which is the guy who was like the emperor of Mexico? I'm too drunk to know. But he commissioned all these glamorous mirrors to be made with his wife Carlotta. Why do I remember her?
Mm-hmm.
Her bust to be made at the top of every mirror. People can Google this. It's part of, if you Google the Driskill Hotel, this is part of the hauntedness of it. I was horrified that the Maximilian room was locked, but I stood outside the Maximilian room for a long time, hoping to get like a whiff of something. Because
did you feel anything or anything?
No, not there. No. But apparently, if you're in the Maximilian room, a lot of people in that room will feel a hand on their shoulder, or there's all these mirrors all on the room that have all been commissioned, and they all have Carlotta's bust carved at the top of the mirror, and it's like mirrors on alternate sides of the room, so it's like a barbershop thing where you have mirrors reflecting into mirrors. And people will like look into the mirror and you see mirrors reflected back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And you see yourself, but then when you see into like multiple versions of yourself, what reportedly there are people who will see people reflected in the mirrors that are not in the room.
Oh.
Which God damn it, I wanted to go in there so fucking bad.
Oh, I want to see that.
I wanted to go in there so bad. But I did go up to the fifth floor.
Well, I bet it's closed because it's true and people get too freaked out.
Because, yeah, exactly. That's why it's locked. I did check the door and it was locked. But, yeah. I did go up to the fifth floor, which has multiple ghost things, which has not only the painting that is allegedly of the little girl who died falling down the stairs that I mentioned yesterday.
Yeah.
But also room 525, which is where multiple brides have killed themselves. Not the one who shot herself. Not the one who shot herself in the bathtub, but multiple brides have killed themselves in this one room, supposedly on the same day in different years.
That's weird. And I just gotta say to all you skeptics, no, it is not coincidence. There is something in 525 and it is not coincidence, and shut up.
And I did stand for a while outside 525 and I didn't feel anything weird. And I did stand in front of the painting of the little girl and I didn't feel anything weird, although God damn it, that painting is creepy.
Yeah.
I will say that painting is fucking creepy. But I will say this. Okay, so when you get off the elevator, or off the elevator that I would have normally taken to go to my room, because I'm in the tower, which is in the newer section of the hotel. I got off the floor at the fifth floor, which connects to part of the old hotel. So you get off the elevator on the fifth floor. The eighth floor where my room was doesn't connect to the old hotel because the old hotel isn't that tall. Okay. But when you get off at the fifth floor, it's obviously different because instead of going straight ahead, you could also go the other way and you could see all these other rooms, which are the old rooms. And so it was very clear that I was like, okay, I'm going to make a point of walking all up and down all the hallways of the old part of the fifth floor. Now, none
of the employees fucked with you, though, right? It was totally fine.
I did see one employee, and I just said hello to him, and he was on his way to. He was a maintenance guy.
It was nothing.
He was on his way because they, for all they knew, I was going to my room. They didn't know what room. They don't check. I'm someone who's staying in the hotel. They don't know what room I'm in. Although I'm sure weirdos like me go to the fifth floor all the fucking time. Because, for reasons, because we know. So, after I went up and down every hall, and I was like, okay, it's time to head back to the elevator, I was a little disappointed that I hadn't felt anything. So, I'm heading back towards... okay, I'm recognizing paintings and I'm turning back towards areas that I know, and I'm going back towards that part where I can go to the elevator. And as I'm walking down the hall, I'm thinking to myself, I start, because I'm wearing a mask, of course, because I'm in a public area. I start sort of muttering aloud but quietly, like whispering, "Hey, Colonel Driskill, I know you're here." As I'm walking down the hall, I'm like, "Colonel Driskill, I know you're here. So I'm totally cool if you want to follow me back to my room." Because remember, like I said yesterday, I know he's a perv.
Oh, yeah, and I totally wanted you to do a striptease.
Here's the thing. As I'm walking down the hall, there was a door that was open to, like, it wasn't a guest room. It was maybe a maintenance or, housekeeping type room. That wasn't open when I walked by the first time. But as I walked past, the lights went off and then came back on. Just as I walked, the door was open. And they always say that Colonel Jesse Driskill, it's the two things is the smell of cigars and lights flickering off and on. And I had just said, "Colonel Driskill, I know you're here. And if you feel like following me back to my room." Because I don't know if he comes to the tower. I honestly don't know if he bothers to come to the tower. Yeah. I don't know if he's capable of coming to the tower. But I wanted to say something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, he may not be, because that's a ghost thing. They tend to be kind of trapped in certain, areas.
Oh, that's interesting.
But as I'm walking down that hall, I'm like, it was right as I was leaving that part of the hotel, I passed that doorway, and that light went off and on for no goddamn reason. And I'm heading to the little steps that lead up to the level where the elevator is. And I'm thinking, God damn it, those lights just flickered for no goddamn reason. And there was no one in that room. There was no one.
Well, you know what he wanted? He wanted you to go into that room and do a little show and masturbate with a cigar.
Oh my God.
That's what he wanted.
Because he's a pervert, Colonel Driskill. Man's been dead for like over 100 years, and he's a perv. But if I could ever say that that's the closest I've ever had to a ghost encounter, possibly.
But did you feel any sort of
like
pressure on your brain or anything?
I didn't feel anything. All I saw was the lights flicker.
That's so interesting.
And it wasn't until I was past that doorway that I realized what I had just seen. And I knew there was no one in that room, because the first thing that registered was, why did those lights go off and then back on as I passed the doorway?
Yeah.
Because there was no one in there. Because it was like a closet.
Yeah.
It was a closet with an open door, and the lights were on and went off and then came back on. And there was no one in there. And
well, he was saying yoo-hoo to you.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. He couldn't do it in my own room. And because I was talking directly to him, I was like, yo, Colonel Driskill, dude, come on, let's do this. Yeah. So.
See.
There you go.
Wow. And I bet it's real. I'm telling you, if that happens once, the chances of being random are maybe 80%. But if it happens twice, the chances of it being factual are 99%, because everything that skeptics believe is wrong. And ghosts are fact.
I mean,
somebody saw it.
They are
once,
one of the
it's
only
fact.
things I really believe is true. They really, really are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I said when we did our appearance on the Paranormal Burrito, it's like every culture everywhere in the world believes in ghosts.
Yeah.
If that's a coincidence, that's a really fucking weird coincidence. Everyone doesn't believe in vampires. Everyone doesn't believe in, Gillmen. Everyone doesn't believe in Bigfoot, but everyone fucking believes in ghosts.
Because ghosts are fact. Yeah. Absolutely.
It's like whatever they are, they're something. Whatever they are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that may or may not have been my one.
Oh,
I
maybe.
wanted it so goddamn bad, and I think I got it. I think I got one. I think I got my ghost encounter. It's so exciting.
Monsters, demons, ghosts, and gods.
Oh my, I didn't see you there. You really spooked me. Just like my podcast, The Paranormal Burrito. We're a weekly podcast featuring a new guest every episode. So join us for fun and spooky stories. If you have a spooky story you'd like to share, email us at theparanormalburrito@gmail.com. The Paranormal Burrito, your true stories.
But speaking of ghost stories, what the very first thing we did, which was the thing we were about to start talking about last night when we had the technical difficulties, was our first hotel night. We Skyped together while we watched a movie together. We watched the movie Host, which we had meant to watch months ago, and it just never happened. So this was the perfect opportunity to do that.
Yes.
And
hold on, before we start, I'm going to open another beer.
Okay.
And for all of you who are listening, Lagunitas Stereohopic IPA. It's fabulous. Go buy it.
Sounds good.
Buy 2 6-packs. It's fabulous. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
And I'm just going to drink my water because I'm drunk. I'm so drunk.
Okay. What?
Host, though. Host.
What
a great movie.
I gotta say, I loved that movie. I'm jaded about movies.
Yeah.
About horror movies, because I watched all of them.
Yeah.
That movie actually scared me. It actually got to me, and it actually scared me.
It's unusual for a movie to be actually original. It's unusual for a movie to be legitimately suspenseful.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of copycats. I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of people that are going to fail to do what Host did.
Oh, yeah, but but this was so good. They can't do that better. No. And what I really liked about it was that, what I was kind of going back to what I was saying before, the skeptics, they all got their asses kicked.
Oh, that is a good point. Although
all got their stupid, non-believing asses kicked, and I love that.
Although, actually, the skeptics, the number one skeptic is the one who caused it all to. Well,
that bitch.
Spoilers, whatever. But yeah. I mean, and then everyone else was just scared to death, and then it was just like, oh, I'm so sorry that all of you were caught up in all of that, but. We should be very clear, because unfortunately in 2020 there were multiple movies with the word host in the title, including The Host and some other things, but we're talking about Host as in the Shudder original Host. We have to be very, very clear that that's the movie we're talking about. We're talking about the movie that was a bunch of friends on a Zoom call doing a seance via Zoom that goes very, very, very bad. Yeah. And it's, god damn it! I mean, it's been a really, really long time. I mean, as much horror movies as we watch, as much as we love this shit, sometimes we love movies that really aren't that great. Honestly, I mean, we can admit that.
Oh yeah, but I very rarely get scared.
Yes!
And that movie scared me.
Yes!
And that is great.
Oh my god. I mean, I was legitimately, the first time I watched it, the fun thing watching it this time, because I had already seen it and it was Pitney's first time watching it, and watching it on Skype, I was able to, there were times when I knew what was coming, so I could, like, move my eyes from the screen of watching the movie to the screen of watching Pitney watching the movie. And I could just watch, without him knowing, I could just watch him watching the movie, and I could be like, oh, he has no idea what's about to happen. He has no idea what's about to happen.
Oh, and could you see me reacting?
Yes! It was so...
Oh, yeah, because it scared me, and I thought it was great.
Oh, my God. It's like very few movies in a long, long time have been that suspenseful, have been that, like, anxiety producing.
And I like it because it was like, there was no... I mean, I'm not going to say there was no, I'm sure there were some, but when I say this, you'll know what I mean. There was no special effects.
Yeah.
It was not like a special effect movie. It was just all fucking scary.
Yeah, all the effects that were done in it were done very simply. And my understanding was because it literally was all filmed like kind of via Zoom. Mm-hmm. Like every individual person, like the way it was made, they all had to kind of do their own part. And they kind of all had to kind of handle their own shit on their end so that it would all work out. And I mean, certain people had to be taught how to handle certain things and apply makeup and do certain things. But there was some really fucking amazing shit that, I mean, I don't want to spoil too much because it is such a spectacularly suspenseful movie. If there is anyone who hasn't seen it, I want to be able to talk about it, but I don't want to spoil the best shit about it because I want people to be able to experience it without knowing what's coming, because part of what's beautiful about it is that you're watching a Zoom call with multiple windows on your screen, and your eyes are darting from screen to screen because you do not have any goddamn idea the next thing that's going to happen. You don't know which person it's going to happen to. You don't know, and multiple, like, for example, it killed me how many of them had, like, say, open doors behind them. And I won't say whether or not that's a thing, but it's unnerving. It's like, oh my God, I was constantly, like, staring into the darkness behind certain people and just being like, something's gonna happen right behind her. I just know.
But I'm weird, though, because even in a non-horror movie, there's nothing that irritates me more than open doors.
I do wonder how people, like, why would you have your back to a door? Why would you ever have your back to a door?
It infuriates me. Have you ever noticed, like, a lot of times the movies, they'll walk in the back door of the house, they don't shut the goddamn door. But there's often where their movies, they'll be like in their bedroom talking to their husband. I'll be in their bedroom doing this and that and other. And if they have the door open, it just irritates me because I have never, even when I lived by myself, I never walked into my bedroom without shutting the door. Maybe that's a weird thing. Maybe that's just me. But open doors freak me out anyway.
Well, my childhood, I definitely was never in my room with the door open. The door was always closed. Always, 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 always. And it has been like my entire adult life of undoing, closing every door behind me. It's like, there's a lot of that. But like right now, where I'm sitting in this hotel room, I'm sitting in an angle where like the weird angle of the dark doorway that leads into the little doorway that leads into the bathroom is behind me.
Oh, I see that, but that's obviously like.
But it is kind of weird, but the real door is over there, and I can fucking see that. Like, I don't like to have my back to a door if I can help it. But that's just, but there's, I think some of us are more paranoid than other people. I think it's just like, who are these carefree people who don't think to turn on a light? Who are these carefree people who don't lock a door after they go into their house? Like, you go into your house, you close the door, you lock it. Like, who are these people who have not a care in the goddamn world? And it's like, sometimes when you're watching a movie and you see someone, it's like, I guess there are people like that in the world. But it's not me. God. I'm not going to be murdered in my sleep.
A whole episode of how much I hate open windows and open blinds and open curtains.
Well, that's a whole other thing. That's just a fear of natural light.
But that's a whole other thing, yes. But I will be driving down the street at night, literally, and I've done this with people. And I've been, like, driving down the street, and I'm like, look at that fucking asshole with their goddamn curtains open where you can see them sitting in the dining room. How disgraceful. I don't know why, I think it's absolutely disgusting.
I don't know about disgusting, but it is kind of weird. Like, do they realize we can see them? There is something kind of weird about neighbors.
Do they think they think they have the right to have people look into their living room? Like, think they're better than everybody else so you can see their couch or something? I just think it's disgusting.
I don't know if they think... I think maybe they don't realize... It does make me wonder if they know that we can see them. Because sometimes there are people that are walking around in their bedroom. Like, walking from, like, let's say their master bathroom, walking across their bedroom, and they are maybe not quite dressed. And it's like, and it's nighttime. And it's like, do you know we can see you? Like, there are people who I think it does not occur to them that we can see them. But we are getting off topic. Because...
yes. But anyway.
But there is a certain unnerving presence of open bedroom doors into dark hallways in that movie.
Yes.
That it might just be some of us are automatically unsettled by such a sight.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, I thought I was going to shit myself through the entire movie. And there's a lot of that movie where nothing's happening, but because there's like a doorway and darkness beyond that, I'm 100% sure something terrible's going on back there.
Yeah.
Because I can see darkness, and that means
bad. I know, and like, I remember noticing that, and often, most of the time, there is nothing that happens back there behind that open door. But the fact that an open door is there causes that anxiety.
Yes. And
that was a really genius thing.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's beautiful. And it's
it really does cause that anxiety.
And and by saying that, we are not spoiling anything, because Because, most of the time nothing's happening, but sometimes something does, and we're not telling you when it does and when it doesn't, so there you go.
Wow, but that's really interesting.
And the movie is, like, about an hour long. It really is, because it, like, that's another part of the beauty of it, is because the Zoom call ends because at the end, although I personally have been in Zoom calls where it's supposed to be an hour, but it extends past an hour. Maybe it's because I cheat and I don't set things up the right way. I don't know. But it does end automatically and people are just sort of signed out, you know? But it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's a great movie. God damn it, it's so good.
But it was so funny before you said I was going to say that too. I loved the movie. It was 66 minutes, I think.
Perfect length.
And it was great. And I am so over this new thing within the last decade. Every goddamn movie has to be between 2 hours and 20 minutes and 2 hours and 30 minutes. I remember the good old days where if a movie was over 90 minutes, it's too fucking long. And
oh my God, 90 minutes was tops. Yeah.
Every movie used to be 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, every single fucking movie is 2 hours, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Or 2 hours, 40 minutes. That's way too fucking long.
And now, like, a long movie is 3 hours, and it's like, oh my God, how many
If it's not The Lord of the Rings,
it
does not need to be more than 90 minutes and shut the fuck up. I don't care what it is.
Yeah, if it's not Avengers Endgame, then shut the fuck up.
You know, unless, of course, the new Hellraiser movie is 3 hours and 20 minutes, then that's okay.
I guess. Okay. If they promise it's a good one and not a bad one. I mean, is Skinless Julia in it?
Oh.
If it's a 3-hour movie with Skinless Julia, then okay, maybe. Because if I have to sit through 3 hours and there's no Skinless Julia, what is the fucking point?
Well, that's true.
I mean, come on.
You know, or like the whole first movie, which is that ugly actress fucking men. And then killing them, and then you get like 5 minutes of Cenobite action in the whole movie, and somehow it's classic? I don't understand.
Oh my God.
I don't understand.
Oh my God.
But anyway. Hellraiser started with Hellraiser 2.
Pretty much, yeah. Hellraiser 1 was just the prelude to Hellraiser 2. It exists only to set up Hellraiser 2. That's all it is.
Yes.
We have a whole episode about Hellraiser. Well, at least Hellraiser 1 and 2, and a little bit about the rest of it. But
I could go on about all of it.
I know, but I've only seen the first two, so they're really dealing with it better.
Yes. Well, I'll have to fly you out, and we're going to have a whole weekend. Thanks for listening. If you enjoy our show, please take a moment to rate us and review us on Apple Podcasts or Stitcher.
If you send us a screenshot of your review, we'll send you a Bitchin' Boutique sticker. Everyone loves stickers!
Please subscribe or add us to your favorites wherever you get your podcasts.
Subscribers get new episodes first and are also more attractive.
Drop us a line anytime at PitneyAndAmelia@gmail.com.
We'd love to hear from you.
Because I've been exposed to nothing but strangers for the last 3 days, I'm kind of amazed by how many strangers, women mainly, can't get enough of my hair.
Oh, that's so great.
Even old ladies. Even like old ladies, which I think is kind of cute because it's like a kindred spirit thing of like old blue-haired ladies.
I was going to say, is it the color or is it because you curled it? Like, what is it?
My hair was pretty fucking banging today. I mean, I will say that. But like everywhere I go, it's like, oh my God, your hair is so beautiful. Oh my God, your hair is so cool. Oh my God, the color of your hair is so gorgeous. Like everywhere I am.
That's so cool.
And it's like, I've been stuck inside my house for a year and a half.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I only just recently recolored my hair because I kind of haven't been wasting the hair color. But it's kind of nice that, like, strangers think my hair is cool, which is nice.